Hello and glad you could join us on another edition of the 3-day weather forecast from the Nigerian Meteorological Agency. We have a mixed bag of weather. It's hazy and we see cases of rains, especially over the central states and the extreme northern part of the country. And one may want to ask, why is that? At lower levels, we have dry northeasterly winds feeding into the country, creating the hazy conditions that we have, which is what is actually attainable at this time of the season. And from this satellite imagery, from the orange to reddish coloration, shows you how dry it is. It shows you absence of moist winds just above the country and into the country, extending to parts of the northwest and some parts of the central state. So this shows us how dry the atmosphere is. What we do have is this greenish to orange coloration, which shows us high clouds just above us. That's where we have the moisture. So what is informing this picture? The next image shows us winds at the 500 hectopascal level, where we have winds at the upper level. This 500 hectopascal level is about 5,700 meters above the sea level. So we have moist winds from the Atlantic feeding into the country and far above the country. Now, this picture of moist wind coming in is from this level up to 200 hectopascal, which is about 12,000 meters or 12 kilometers above the sea level. So this moist wind coming in does create a convergence from what we see here. This convergence is where you have the winds coming together, and this aids in the creation of the clouds that we have at upper levels. And so from the next satellite imagery, we see that this feathery kind of picture is showing us high clouds over the country. It's this high clouds that is giving the light drizzle, light rains to parts of Kano, to parts of Gombe, and to parts of giving them light rains to parts of Plateau State. So you see that the rains are not convective. You don't have thunderstorms attendant with them. The thunderstorms are more to the coastal parts and the southern part of the country, and that is expected because of the influence of land and sea breeze bringing in the energy with the few moist winds at that lower level. And so for the rest of Friday, what are we expecting? We expect the north, most of the north, to still be sunny and hazy. Like we said, that is the prevalent weather, but we still expect this picture where you have very high clouds hanging, dotting over most parts of the north and mostly to the northeast, as the northwest is slightly drier than the northeast. And so we'll keep having this light rains, this light drizzle just here and there for much of for parts of Friday. To the central state, we expect a similar picture. We expect just light rains and much cloudiness, but these clouds are high clouds, like we did point out. To the south, we expect more of low clouds, expect more cloudiness, and we expect prospects of thunderstorms later in the day, in the later part of Friday. Now, for temperatures, in temperatures, we find out that the cloudiness we have over the country has reduced, brought some comfort, reduced maximum temperatures somewhat, even though they are still high. From our graphics here, we see that temperatures are as high, expected to be as high as 38 degrees Celsius to the northwest, speaking about Kebbi, speaking about Sokoto. To the northeast, we have them in their mid-30s, 35 over Yobe, 34 over Borno State. To the central region, we have 38 over parts of Kaduna, that's Zara to the north, and to the central states we have 37, expecting 37 degrees Celsius to the Federal Capital Territory, 39 degrees Celsius to Makurdi, and to the south, the coastal parts, we expect the maximum temperatures to be within the upper 30s. But the discomfort we did have previously isn't that much at this time because of the cold winds. Some cold winds we still have coming down from these cloudy conditions that are precipitating far above and from the blanket that this gives us from solar radiation. Quality is more or less unhealthy for some parts of the northern states. For most parts of the country, it is unhealthy for sensitive folks, let's not forget it's still dusty, even though slight, and we have more haziness because of the dryness. The haziness may not necessarily be from dust, but from particulate matters and from pollutants. And so it's also good that those in the sensitive group should cover up, should rather wear a nose mask if going out, and be sensitive about their environment and the state of the atmosphere. And so as we get into the second day of our forecast, we expect more change in the weather. Not exactly, because the moist winds at higher level that we do have, we expect that to be sustained even into Saturday. And so we will expect cases of very high clouds over parts of the extreme north, even though you'll still see haziness. We'll still expect some light drizzle here and there in parts of, especially parts of the northeast. And to the central state, we also expect some haziness to persist throughout the forecast period, and we expect some cloudiness. There are prospects of a few rains. They may not be heavy, but prospects of a few rains to parts of especially these high ground areas of the central states. We're speaking about parts of Nasarawa, parts of Plateau State, some parts of the Federal Capital Territory, some parts of Niger State, and parts of, and to the south. We also expect some thunderstorms occurring or happening in one or two areas down south. For temperatures on this day, for temperatures, we expect the maximum temperatures to still be within the same, but not much change is expected. For the north, they should be in their upper to mid 30s. For the central states, their upper 30s. For the south, temperatures, maximum temperature should hit mostly be within the upper 30s range. The air quality for this day is expected to be unhealthy for sensitive groups. And so, like we always say, wear a nose mask so as to avoid to trigger any attack, especially for those with asthma challenges. And so as we get to the last day of our forecast, which is Sunday, we expect to see almost similar picture, but for this day we expect a little dryness to the northern part of the country. So we expect it to be hazy. Yes, we expect to see some high clouds, rains, light rains, drizzle, not as for the first and the second day. We may see one or two, but nothing much is expected for this day. To the central states also, we expect to see a little lull in weather activities. The cloudiness may reduce some over the north and the central state, and even to the south. The prospects of rains for this day are not as they were for the first day and for the second day. How does this translate for the temperatures? We expect temperatures for this third day to pick up slightly. And by that, we're saying that maximum temperature over Yobe should now hit 37 degrees Celsius from the 35 degrees Celsius for the first 2 days. Within the central state, temperatures for the Federal Capital Territory should hit 39 degrees Celsius. For Makurdi, it should hit 40 degrees over Jalingo in Taraba State. And to the south, we expect temperatures to be in their upper 30s. And so for this day, we may get some more heat and a little discomfort. But we'll bring you updates if there's any change as the day progresses. And for the air quality for this day, we expect it to still be unhealthy just for the sensitive groups, and not much threat is expected. Thank you for watching. I am Onyilo Desmond.